GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. Today we'll celebrate the freshly renovated basketball courts in Martin Luther King Park and preview the bustling board game festival downtown. Expect moderate traffic delays with several road closures and a quick look at tomorrow's poetry and splash pool lineup. Over to you, Ryan.
The newly refurbished basketball courts in Martin Luther King Park opened yesterday after months of renovation work.
The courts feature modern lighting, fresh surfacing, and additional seating for families and local teams.
A community basketball tournament is scheduled for next weekend, inviting players of all ages to compete.
All right, let's get into it. The renovated courts will host daily free open play sessions, starting tomorrow for all Montreal residents. Good morning, Montreal. Yesterday evening, the freshly renovated outdoor basketball courts at Martin Luther King Park in Montreal's Côte des Neiges opened to the public. The project, led by the non-profit Buckets and Borders, transformed the aging surface into a bright, resurfaced playing area complete with new hoops, lighting and seating. Sponsor contributions helped fund the upgrades, which the organization says are meant to boost neighborhood activity and give local youth a safe place to play. Residents gathered for a ribbon-cutting ceremony, where volunteers demonstrated drills and invited anyone interested to join a pickup game. Officials praised the effort as a tangible way to strengthen community ties and foster confidence through sport. The courts will now host regular leagues, after-school programs, and open-air tournaments, adding a fresh recreational option to the park's already busy summer schedule.
Montreal's open-air board game festival draws crowds. Festival Ludique de Montreal, run by Quebec board game groups, opened its 3-day showcase in the Quartier Latin on Saturday evening. Visitors stroll through the park, sampling new tabletop titles and classics. Organizers note the open-air setting lets families, friends, and newcomers play under the summer sky. Attendance has risen steadily since the debut, reflecting a surge in board game enthusiasm across the province. The festival runs through Sunday and Monday, offering demo stations, quick play tournaments, and chances to buy games from designers. With over 100 games on display, the event adds a lively cultural note to Montreal's summer calendar. The 3-day open-air exhibition began at 6:51 p.m. EDT on July 25 and will continue through July 27. Organizers anticipate that the festival will attract thousands of players by the final day, reinforcing Montreal's reputation as a hub for tabletop gaming.
Yesterday, the Quebec Coroner's Office announced an investigation into the deaths of 3 children who had been placed under the care of Bacho Youth and Family Centers, the English language agency that provides youth protection services in the city. The case involves 2 teenagers and a 4-year-old girl, all of whom died while in the agency's custody. Authorities said the coroner will examine medical records, circumstances of the fatalities, and the agency's handling of the minors. Bacho has pledged full cooperation with the probe and said it is reviewing its protocols. The coroner's mandate includes determining cause of death and any contributing factors, a process that can take several weeks. The coroner's report is expected to detail any systemic failures and will be shared with provincial officials. Families of the children have been notified, and the investigation remains ongoing.
Inter Miami secured a narrow victory over the home side yesterday, despite playing without Lionel Messi. The match was briefly suspended when German Berterame collapsed after a clash that left him with a head injury. Medical staff attended the field, confirmed he was unconscious for a short period, and then cleared him to leave the stadium. Play resumed after a few minutes and Miami pressed forward, ultimately edging the Montreal club by a single goal. Coaches on both benches emphasized player safety, noting the quick response helped prevent further complications. Fans in the stands remained attentive as the game concluded, applauding the effort of both teams. The result adds 3 points to Miami's MLS campaign, while the Montreal squad looks to regroup ahead of its next fixture. The encounter unfolded at Stade Saputo, drawing a lively crowd of local supporters.
Scientists announced today that a transmissible melanoma has been identified in brown bullhead catfish inhabiting Lake Memphremagog, the waterway that straddles the Quebec-Vermont border. The research team found that roughly one-third of the sampled catfish carry malignant tumors, a proportion that suggests the disease spreads among the population. This marks the first recorded instance of a contagious cancer in any fish species. Until now, transmissible cancers have been documented only in a handful of mammals, such as dogs with canine transmissible venereal tumor and Tasmanian devils suffering from facial tumor disease. The discovery raises concerns for the lake's ecosystem and for anglers who frequent its waters, though authorities have not indicated an immediate threat to human health. Further study will focus on how the tumor moves between individuals and whether it could affect other aquatic species. Later we'll hear how Bromont residents uncovered a 150-year-old time capsule, a piece of history beneath their streets. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches, no middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're feeling refreshed. Let's dive into today's headlines, and now Ryan Mercer will bring you the local stories.
Two longtime Bromont residents, Rock Royer and David Thuriault, uncovered a sealed metal box while clearing a garden plot last week. The container, later identified as a time capsule, is estimated to be about 150 years old, placing its origin in the mid-19th century. Authorities have kept the contents under lock and key, while experts plan a careful opening, sparking curiosity among local schools and history buffs. Neighbors say the discovery adds a tangible link to the town's early days, reminding families of the layers of story beneath familiar streets. The find could eventually become part of community exhibits, offering a fresh glimpse into daily life, fashions, and news of a bygone era. For now, residents await the official reveal, hoping the artifacts will illuminate the town's roots.
Yesterday, police responded to a stabbing in the downtown Ville-Marie district. A 45-year-old man was found with serious injuries after being attacked on a busy street near the central business corridor. Officers from the city's police service arrived within minutes, secured the scene, and provided emergency medical assistance before the victim was transported to hospital. The investigation remains ongoing, with detectives reviewing surveillance footage and canvassing nearby businesses for witnesses. Residents walking through the area this morning reported seeing an increased police presence, underscoring the heightened concern for safety in a neighborhood that normally sees heavy foot traffic from commuters and shoppers. The police service has not released further details about a suspect at this time.
Yesterday, gasoline prices in the greater Montreal area surged to almost $2 per liter, marking the latest jump in a steady climb that has strained commuters and families alike. The increase was reported across the region's service stations, with most pumps displaying rates just shy of the $2 threshold. Drivers said the higher cost is already prompting changes in daily routines, from opting for carpooling to trimming non-essential trips. Many commuters anticipate longer travel times as they adjust routes to avoid peak hour traffic and higher fuel expenses. Local retailers noted a sharp rise in demand for fuel-efficient vehicles and public transport passes. Economists warned that the upward trend could linger if global oil markets remain volatile, further tightening household budgets. The Provincial Consumer Affairs Office confirmed the figures and urged shoppers to compare station prices before filling up.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats head back to Percival Molson Stadium this Sunday for a second clash with the Montreal Alouettes. After opening the season together nearly 2 months ago, the rivals meet again under lights, offering fans another chance to see quarterback Tree Ford lead Hamilton's attack. The game promises a lively atmosphere, with local supporters expected to fill the stands and fill the streets around the venue. Ticket holders will enjoy a weekend outing that fits neatly between brunch plans and evening strolls along the river. Both clubs have used the early meeting to gauge strengths, so this showdown could shape playoff positioning as the campaign gains momentum. Kickoff is set for early afternoon, giving families and commuters alike an easy slot to catch the action before heading home later.
5 Montreal police officers have been suspended without pay for a period of 30 to 42 days after a court ruled their conduct during a 2018 pursuit was especially serious. The chase that year left a civilian with severe injuries, sparking a long-running investigation. The court's decision, handed down this July, keeps the officers off duty while the disciplinary process continues. Their suspension reflects the ongoing scrutiny of police tactics in high-speed chases and underscores the lasting impact on the injured victim's life. Families of the civilian have watched the case unfold for years, and the city's legal system remains engaged as the matter proceeds through further hearings. The magistrate emphasized that accountability in law enforcement actions is essential for public trust. The suspended officers will remain barred from duty until the stipulated period expires, pending any additional rulings.
Let's get a look at your morning forecast with our meteorologist, keeping you ahead of the day.
A southwesterly jet squeezes the upper trough, leaving Montreal under a warm, unsettled ridge today. On this date, Montreal once burned to 32.5 degrees Celsius back in 2020, a spike that rode the tail of a persistent heat dome across the Great Lakes. The chilling counterpart arrived in 2013 when temperatures slipped to 12.6 degrees, a rare Arctic air burst that followed a deepening trough from the north. By contrast, the climatological average for July 25th hovers around 26 degrees high and 18 degrees low, underscoring how today's forecast sits comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a blank canvas across southern Quebec, no echo returning from the St. Lawrence Basin. Upper-level ridging and a weak southwest jet keep the column of air stable, suppressing lift and moisture convergence. With pressure easing lower and no frontal boundary in sight, precipitation will stay absent through the day. That leaves us to focus on today's temperature rise and clear skies. At 7 this morning, Montreal sits under partly cloudy skies with a temperature of 18 degrees Celsius and a humidity of 85%. The air feels moist, dew point 16 degrees, while a gentle southerly breeze of 8 kilometers per hour drifts across the city. Near average pressure is easing lower, signaling a gradual shift toward unsettled conditions, but the 500 hectopascal ridge anchored by a southwest jet of 38 kilometers per hour traps warm air aloft. That ridge fuels today's high of 31 degrees and keeps the sky mostly clear. UV index sits at 7, and wind will peak at 14 kilometers per hour from the southeast, well below gust concerns. No weather alerts are active, so the focus remains on the heat building through the afternoon. Looking ahead, Sunday will climb to a high of 29 degrees with a low of 18, under mainly clear skies that should hold the heat steady. Monday nudges a degree higher, reaching 30 degrees at the peak and dropping to 19 overnight, while a persistent clear sky limits any moisture influx. Tuesday marks the first wet spell, with temperatures peaking at 27 degrees and a low of 19. Overcast cover and a 60% chance of rain will dominate the afternoon. Wednesday eases to 25 degrees at maximum and 18 at night, bringing light rain and the same probability of precipitation. Thursday cools further to 23 degrees high, staying at 18 low, with partly cloudy skies but another 60% rain risk, keeping the week's moisture cycle active. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll update traffic, preview the Splash Pool Party ED3, and hear why Steve's music store closes after 61 years. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Morning commuters, the biggest slowdown today is the northbound Louis-Hippolyte-Lafontaine Tunnel, closed for refurbishment with southbound traffic in contraflow. Expect a short delay and consider using the Dupuis Expressway instead. On the Mercer Bridge, roadwork and a truck traffic ban add a few minutes for eastbound drivers. The Bonaventure Expressway near the Victoria Bridge runs with one eastbound lane closed, causing backups toward the bridge. Westbound traffic on Clements Bridge is down to a single lane, creating a bottleneck downtown. Highway 520 traffic is diverted and lane width reduced, slowing flow through the work zone. The Dupuis Expressway southbound between the interchange and Jean Talon Street is closed, with detours onto Dupuis Boulevard. 2 of 4 southbound lanes between Gouin and Henry Bourassa Boulevards are shut, and one southbound lane on the service road between Tellier and Notre Dame is closed. All other major routes are moving freely, and no transit disruptions are reported this morning.
Saskia Giorgini takes the stage at the Amphitheatre Fernand Lindsay today, delivering poetry-infused classical music for the Festival de l'Année, A Serene Sunrise soundtrack, and tickets are still on sale for a calm cultural start. The splash pool party at Repentigny's Rue Garnier invites families and friends to cool off with live DJ beats. Bring a towel, dip in the water, and enjoy a spontaneous burst of summer fun before lunch. Later this week, the Just for Laughs Festival presents the Jerry D. Gala at Théâtre Maisonneuve on July 28, promising sharp comedy and guest appearances from top Canadian comedians, a must-see night for anyone needing a good laugh. Marking the end of the month, Ashiga launches at Parc Jean Drapeau from July 31 through August 2, offering international acts, multiple stages, food trucks, and an art market. Plan a full-day escape for music lovers. And now here's Tyler with sports.
A tough weekend on the pitch for Montreal's soccer clubs. CF Montreal fell 1-0 at Stade Saputo Saturday night, courtesy of a Luis Suarez penalty for Inter Miami. And this one stings. Miami was without both Lionel Messi and Rodrigo Dupuis, yet still walked out of Montreal with 3 points per Sportsnet. The result wasn't the only concern at Stade Saputo Saturday. Inter Miami forward Berterame left the match against CF Montreal by ambulance during the MLS contest. No further condition details are available at this hour, according to Sportsnet. The Montreal Roses also took a loss, falling 2-0 to AFC Toronto in Northern Super League action Thursday. Lauren Rowe and Kaylee Hunter each found the net in the second half for Toronto, lifting the visitors into sole possession of third place in the standings, per CBC Sports.
Steve's Music Store on St. Catherine Street in downtown Montreal is preparing to close its doors after 61 years of serving the city's music lovers. Founded in 1965, the family-run shop grew into a regional chain before shrinking back to this iconic location, where generations could walk in, pick up a guitar, drum set, or violin, and hear the notes echo through the aisles. Today, rising online prices and streaming competition have made the brick and mortar model unsustainable. The loss means a quiet corner of the downtown cultural fabric will dim, and local musicians will miss a place that felt like a second rehearsal space. Steve's has always reminded us that Montreal's heartbeat is louder when we play together. Up next, we'll share the inspiring tale of Saskia Giorgini, whose poetry brings nobility and hope to our streets. Stay tuned.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on GMNA for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On a quiet Saturday night on St. Laurent Boulevard, the low hum of conversation at Le Petit Clocher was interrupted when a familiar face, once a courtroom advocate, stumbled to the bar, a BB gun tucked under his coat. The patrons, accustomed to the clink of glasses, paused as he, slurring a claim that he was a Viking and a hitman, lifted the harmless-looking weapon. A seasoned bartender, Marie, kept her voice steady, guiding the crowd to the exit while a nearby off-duty officer called for help. Within minutes, the police arrived, and the scene diffused without a single shot fired. The community's calm response turned what could have been a frightening moment into a lesson in compassion and quick thinking. Yesterday, the court sentenced the former lawyer to 18 months of house arrest, a decision that underscores the importance of accountability while allowing him the chance to reflect behind closed doors. In the days that follow, the bar's regulars have organized a neighborhood safety workshop, turning the incident into a catalyst for collective care. Montreal's strength lies in moments like these, when neighbors look out for one another and turn a mishap into an opportunity for growth.
From the lively cafes of the plateau, we turn our eyes eastward to the St. Lawrence, where a splash of history arrived this morning. The celebrated Italian tall ship Amerigo Vespucci glided into Quebec City's historic harbor, its towering masts unfurling crisp white sails against a crisp autumn sky. Families gathered along the cobblestones, children clutching tiny flags as the ship's crew stepped ashore, their uniforms a splash of navy and gold. The air was filled with the salty tang of the river and the soft hum of a brass band playing a traditional sea shanty, echoing off the stone facades of the old city. As the ship's bell rang, a local school choir joined in, their voices weaving a spontaneous chorus that linked Montreal's neighborhoods with the centuries-old maritime tradition. In that shared melody, strangers became neighbors, and the bustling metropolis felt a little closer to the river's edge. Moments like this remind us that community lives in the simple joy of coming together, no matter where the tide carries us.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure sharing the surprise of Bromont residents uncovering a 150-year-old time capsule, a reminder of our rich history. Stay tuned for more stories tomorrow on the local Sunrise. Have a wonderful day. We look forward to greeting you bright and early again.